Hello and welcome back to Pro Wrestling Mayhem. I'm Lee and today we are going to talk about the very first episode of WCW Nitro. Before we get into that, I just want to say that I plan to do reports on all the WCW Nitros. There's 288 of them and I plan to make a playlist for each year. The first episode of WCW Nitro took place on September 4th, 1995. It took place at the Mall of America in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Eric Bischoff welcomes us to the show and he is standing with Steve Mongo McMichael. Bobby Heenan comes on screen and goes to shake Steve McMichael's hand, but he gets shocked because Steve McMichael has a hand buzzer. Eric Bischoff says we'll see Hulk Hogan in the main event tonight. Our first match is Jushin Thunder Liger taking on Flyin, Brian Pillman. They did some arm bars early on and then Liger hit a cartwheel kick. Liger hit a moonsault off the top for a near fall. Pillman hit a head scissors and then hit him with a couple of chops. Liger hit a drop toe hold takedown. He then put him in a surfboard. Later on, Pillman hit a head scissors takedown. Liger hit a jumping senton on Pillman, who was out of the ring. With Liger on the floor, Pillman hit a crossbody block onto him. Both men on the top turnbuckle, Liger hit a suplex off the top. Liger goes back up top and then jumps off and Pillman catches him with a drop kick. Pillman got a near fall for that. Liger powerbombed him for a near fall. Liger gave him a Hurricane Rana and Pillman kicked out at 2. Pillman hit him with a DDT and went for the cover and Liger kicked out. Pillman got him with a reverse roll-up and pinned him for the win. After the match, Pillman raised his arms in victory and shook Liger's hand. I really liked the match between Liger and Pillman. It was a very fun opener and it was a good start to the first episode of Monday Nitro. We then go to a Sting promo. He says, "Nobody can walk that aisle like the Stinger can, and nobody can put on the Scorpion Deathlock just like me." And then he says, "Woo!" Next we go to a Hulk Hogan segment. There's a bunch of fans around and Hulk Hogan is signing autographs in front of his restaurant, Pastamania. Eric Bischoff is there with a microphone. Hulk Hogan starts off saying, "You know something, Eric Bischoff? Tonight on Monday Nitro, Pastamania has all my Hulkamaniacs running wild. I have eaten so many Hulkaroos. Big Bubba, I'm putting the WCW World Heavyweight title on the line." And finishes off with saying, "What you gonna do when Pastamania runs wild on you?" Next up, we have match 2 between Sting and the Nature Boy Ric Flair for the WCW United States Championship. After both men get in the ring, we see Lex Luger show up out of nowhere. The fans start chanting for Luger. The match then starts. We see Ric Flair and Sting bounce off the ropes a few times, do a couple of leapfrogs, and then Sting gets him and gives him a military press. Sting hits a hip toss and a drop kick, and then Ric Flair powders out of the ring. Flair gets back into the ring and gives Sting some chops in the corner and even a punch to the face. They end up on the floor and Flair gives him some chops again, and then Sting grabs him and military presses him back into the ring. Sting went for a Stinger splash, but Flair had already moved. Sting no-sold it and then slammed Ric Flair's head into the mat. Later on, Ric Flair cracked Sting in the face with an elbow. Then go to a commercial break. Back from the commercial break, Sting throws Ric Flair from the top turnbuckle to the mat. We then see the enforcer, Arn Anderson, come to the ring. Ric Flair gave Sting a big stalling vertical suplex and Sting no-sold it. Sting gave Flair 2 clotheslines. Flair flipped over the turnbuckle, landed on the apron, and was clotheslined again. After a 10 punch in the corner by Sting, he then gave him a hip toss. Sting hit a backslide for a near fall. He then gave Flair a big suplex off the top. With Sting distracted by Arn Anderson, Ric Flair took out his knee. Flair put him in a figure 4 leg lock and used the ropes for leverage. Arn Anderson comes in the ring and the bell sounds. Arn Anderson breaks up the figure 4. Flair throws a punch at Arn, and then Arn throws a bunch of punches at Ric Flair. They then fight on the floor and are eventually broken up. After the match, we see Scott Norton yelling at Eric Bischoff. Gets in Steve McMichael's face, and then Randy Savage turns him around and gets in his face. They argue a bit, and then Savage says, "Let's go right now." He gets in the ring, and Norton goes to get in the ring, but is stopped. Eric Bischoff then throws it to a video of Sabu. Go to a commercial break. Back from the commercial break, we see Gene Okerlund in the ring. He says that somebody won a motorcycle for some sweepstakes, and then throws it back to Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff announces that it'll be Johnny B. Bad taking on Dirty Dick Slater, and Sting and Macho Man will team up to face the Blue Bloods on Saturday, whatever it's called, the Saturday show. The show is called WCW Saturday Night. I don't know why I didn't get it right the first time. Oh well. We then go to a Michael Wallstreet promo. Michael Wallstreet is the old IRS. I almost said IWS. The IRS. He says that everybody in WCW will learn that he is a real player. We then go to our main event, which is Hulk Hogan defending his WCW World Championship with Jimmy Hart by his side against Big Bubba Rogers. Big Bubba Rogers is the big boss man. They announced that Randy Savage will take on Scott Norton next week on Monday Nitro. The bell rings and the match is on. Hulk Hogan sends him backwards with a shove. Rogers puts him in a side headlock. Bubba hit a splash in the corner, and then he went to ram Hulk Hogan's head into the turnbuckles, but instead Hulk Hogan rammed his head into the turnbuckles as the fans counted along. Bubba gives him a rib breaker and then punches him in the ribs. Hogan eventually gives him 2 big boots to the face. He punches Bubba in the face a few times and the referee pulls him off him. Hogan gives him 10 punches in the face and then gives him a clothesline. Bubba body slam Hogan and Hogan no-sold it. Bubba tries to splash in the corner but Hogan moves. Bubba hits a side slam for a near fall. And eventually hulks up. He hits a big boot to the face and then he gives him a big leg drop and he covers him for the 3 to retain his WCW World Heavyweight Championship. The Dungeon of Doom come out and then Hogan punches them all in the face, and then Lex Luger comes in and what do? They punch the Dungeon of Doom and then they go face to face. Back from commercial break, Lex Luger says he wants Hogan's WCW Championship, so Hogan says, "Shake my hand and we'll make it official." So they do, and then that match is made for next week on Monday Nitro. Bischoff ends the show saying that next week we'll see Sabu and what's his name? Wallstreet, Mr. Wallstreet, and we'll also see Hulk Hogan defend his championship against Lex Luger in the main event of Monday Nitro in Miami. So that's it for this video. Subscribe, leave a comment down below what you think of WCW Nitro, and when you subscribe, hit that little bell so you get all the notifications. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more videos from Pro Wrestling Mayhem. That's it for this video.